Hey guys, welcome to Dave and Cali Show. Well, I was sitting back watching Biden talk about the situation and what we're going to do about, um, the sanctions and so forth, and we're not going to buy oil. Let's take a look at this and maybe we'll just go through it together.
Good morning, folks. Sorry to keep you waiting. There was a couple phone calls. Today, I'm announcing the United States is targeting the main artery of Russia's economy. We're banning all imports of Russian oil and gas and energy. That means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine.
I'm trying to understand, maybe you guys too, why it is that we buy oil from Russia when we already export like 209,000 barrels a day, yet we import 600 and some, like 650,000 barrels a day back to our country. Kind of makes you wonder, right?
This is a move that has strong bipartisan support in Congress and, I believe, in the country. Americans have rallied to support their Ukrainian people and made it clear we will not be part of subsidizing Putin's war. We made this decision in close consultation with our allies and our partners around the world, particularly in Europe, because a united response to Putin's aggression has been my overriding focus, to keep all NATO and all of the EU and our allies totally united. We're moving forward with this ban, understanding that many of our European allies and partners may not be in a position to join us. The United States produces far more oil domestically than all the European countries combined. In fact, we're a net exporter of energy. So we can...
Okay, so in fact, we're a net export. Okay, well, let's see if we can figure this out. Now, I started looking this stuff up and trying to understand what the heck it is. Why do we export? Why do we import? Why don't it seem like there'd be a balance point? Well, come to find out, crude oil is rated. It's rated as sweet, which is the best, all the way to sour or soured, as they might say it. In other words, the soured means it's got contaminants in it, more contaminants than what we would like, and of course EPA and so forth. So if it's 0.5% higher than 0.5% in, like, say, sulfur, and there's other chemicals in there too, then it becomes what they call sour. So at the same time, we export this sour to other countries because we don't want to damage the environment, right? So we'll let other countries damage it? I don't know. It's a very difficult thing to understand when you start researching and looking at it and all the chemicals and things that have to be taken out, and it costs more, obviously, to clean sour crude oil and make it acceptable. And then you end up with a bunch of byproduct or hazardous waste materials, which some of them are usable for other industries and so forth, but they're very caustic and like hydrochloric or sulfuric acids, things like that are in there that they actually clean out. Now, also, you think, oh, okay, well, the stuff we buy from Russia must be sweet oil. No, according to crudeoil.com, Russia's, most of their oil is what's considered a high, not just sour, but high sour crude oil. So that means it has the most impurities. The United States buys that so they can make, gasoline, diesel, and other products out of it. And I'm thinking, but why? You guys tell me, does it make sense? Or somebody out there that if you know how this all works, please enlighten us. Put it down in the comments. Give us some information. I really would like to understand why it is that we export oil and import even dirtier oil just doesn't make sense to me. I must be getting something wrong. Anyway, you guys comment down below. Let's see what else he has to say here.
Take this step when others cannot. But we're working closely with Europe and our partners to develop a long-term strategy to reduce their dependence on Russian energy as well. Our teams are actively discussing how to make this happen, and today we remain united. We remain united in our purpose to keep pressure mounting on Putin and his war machine. This is a step that we're taking to inflict further pain on Putin, but there will be cost as well here in the United States. I said I would level with the American people from the beginning, and when I first spoke to this, I said defending freedom is going to cost. It's going to cost us as well in the United States. Republicans and Democrats understand alike.
So that's your warning, everybody. It's going to cost us, and it's going to cost us a lot. In other words, what he's saying is if you think gas prices are high now, wait till next month because it's going to go through the roof. They're already predicting $150 to $200 a barrel of oil after this whole thing's all said and done. Right now, we're hovering at a 120, 125. You know, maybe by the end of the week, I don't know, or it might already be 130. So you can understand where that's going.
Understand that. Republicans and Democrats alike have been clear that we must do this. Over the last week, I've spoken with President Zelensky several times to hear from him about the situation on the ground and to consult and continue to consult with our European allies and about U.S. support for Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. Thus far, we've provided more than $1 billion in security assistance to Ukraine. Shipments of defensive weapons are arriving in Ukraine every day from the United States, and we, the United States, are the ones coordinating the delivery.
Wait a minute. Did he say that we're sending equipment out to him? I thought it was Poland that was going to supply him with jets and planes, and we were going to just do fill. Oh, maybe that's the fill. Okay, yeah, we're going to send all our equipment over there. Okay, well, you know, I mean, they need to defend themselves, and I can't, you know, I get that. It's just that, lately I've just been real leery of anything that the government really says, especially Sleepy Joe here, you know. Everything he says sometimes has, either a twist or it doesn't make sense or it's completely flat out not true and nobody fact checks him like they did President Trump. President Trump got fact checked before he was even done speaking sometimes. Anyway.
Of our allies and partners of similar weapons, from Germany to Finland to the Netherlands. We're working that out. We're also providing humanitarian support for the Ukrainian people, both those still in Ukraine and those who have fled safely to a neighboring country. We're working with humanitarian organizations to surge tens of thousands of tons of food, water, and medical supplies into Ukraine, and with more on the way. Over the weekend, I sent Secretary Blinken to visit the border between Poland and Ukraine and to Moldova to see what the situation was firsthand and report back.
And then when he gets back, maybe he can go down and look at our borders too, because, we're definitely worried about their borders when our borders are wide open. Yeah, so we'll send somebody over there that can do something about it, huh? Well, anyway, I know. I'm just, don't mean to be so cynical. Gee whiz. Anyway, go
General
back.
Milley, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of our Defense Department, was also in Europe, meeting with his counterparts and allies on NATO's eastern flank.
Did he say woke nilly-willy? Oh.
To reassure them, those countries bordering Russia, NATO countries, that we will keep our NATO commitment, a sacred commitment of Article 5. The Vice President Harris is going to be traveling to meet with our allies in Poland and Romania later this week as well. I've made it clear.
Really?
The United States will share in the responsibility of caring for the refugees so the costs do not fall entirely on the European countries bordering Ukraine. And yesterday I spoke with my counterparts in France, Germany, and the United Kingdom about Russia's escalating violence against Ukraine and the steps that we're going to take together with our allies and partners around the world to respond to this aggression. We are enforcing the most significant package of economic sanctions in history, and it's causing significant damage to Russia's economy. It has caused Russian economy to, frankly, crater. The Russian ruble is now down to 50%, by 50% since Putin's announced his war. 1 ruble is now worth less than 1 American penny. 1 ruble is less than 1 American penny. And preventing Russia's central bank from propping up the ruble and to keep its value up. They're not going to be able to do that now. We cut Russia's largest banks from the international financial system, and it has crippled their ability to do business with the rest of the world. In addition, we're choking off Russia's access to technology like semiconductors that are, and sap its economic strength and weaken its military for years to come. Major companies are pulling out of Russia entirely without even being asked, not by us. Over the weekend, Visa, MasterCard, American Express.
Wait a minute, that's a lie, because right after the meeting with Zelensky, the U.S. lawmakers, quote unquote, asked them to pull out because of the request from Zelensky to do that. So saying that they weren't asked is from what I got from the article, and the information was they definitely were asked. So that's a lie right there.
They all suspended their services in Russia, all of them, joining a growing list of American and global companies from Ford to Nike to Apple. They've suspended their operations in Russia. The U.S. Stock Exchange has...
See, here's another thing. I know I keep stopping the video, but look, if we work with these big global companies and we enable them, in other words, we're encouraging them to do sanctions and stuff on our behalf, are they not an arm of the U.S. government? Just like when social media starts censoring you, then and because of a request of maybe the DOJ or whatever, any government affiliation asked to remove something on social media or whatever, they are acting as the arm of the government. So to me, we're enabling by asking these big global companies to jump in and do this. And not only that, stop and think about it. Why do big global companies have power like that? Why, here in the United States, we have this thing that, they can't constitute a monopoly, and yet we see it every day. So I'm just saying, guys, if it can happen there, it can happen here. It can happen, hey, if a state for some reason wants to pull away from the United States, let's just say, and the government's not happy with it, they can go to MasterCard and Visa and American Express and Apple and all the phone companies, and they can say, hey, stop servicing that state and literally shut that state down. I'm just saying, that's, it could happen when they have that kind of power. So I'm just saying that's a little bit of a warning that we really need to, our government in everything we do needs to be somehow reworked and more safeguards put in to protect the everyday people from stuff like this happening. But I understand why they're doing this, and I understand it's one of those things that they can do that's maybe a non-violent, doesn't kill anybody, but it exerts a certain kind of pressure to maybe make Putin back down, maybe come to the table to talk. I understand that, I get that. I'm not against that. I'm just saying there are things we're seeing that we need to be aware of and watch out for. You remember, we're supposed to watch and see the times that we're living in. Okay, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I could go all day on this Biden speech. Anyway, I've already taken up enough time. Anyway, just food for thought. So remember to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, whatever. Let's feed that algorithm so that the channel can get out to more people. And we'll see you on the next one.